Hello, thanks for checking out my new plugin, Apps. Let's get started and look at the plugin's main command, /period. This opens up the Apps home screen, and as you can see, Apps is a new type of GUI plugin that aims to be more intuitive than other GUI plugins by resembling something more like a web page or a phone app. And not only do screens in apps allow for more content to be displayed with custom formatting, but screens are also interactive too. As you can see, when I look around the screen, the buttons will highlight, meaning that I can click on them. And if I click on this apps button on the bottom of the screen, it takes me to the apps page, and clicking the home button takes me back to the home screen. Not only are buttons clickable, but apps also supports scrollable content like this announcements feed. And if you use your scroll wheel, you can actually scroll up and down to see more announcements in the announcements feed. Apps even has support for users inputting text through chat, but I'll show that off in a minute. Next, let's look at all of the apps that come with apps out of the box. So going back to the app screen, let's start with the admin app. So this is just for server admins, where we can customize how apps works for all players on the server. The first one is permissions, which will either toggle between using specific permission nodes or a simplified version of permissions where opt players will have staff privileges and non-opt players will have regular player permissions. But yeah, feel free to play with that and see if that works for you. But yep, I usually leave that on for better customization. Next up, we have enabled apps, where we can toggle which apps are enabled for all players on the server. A couple of these apps can't be disabled, like the admin app that has to stay on, but apps like Homes and Warps we can disable. And once we disable those, we go back to the apps page and we'll see those are no longer there. And if we come back, we can come and enable those again. And just like that, the apps are been re-enabled. Lastly, we have configure apps, where this allows us to edit the config files of apps that have, well, config files. Not all apps have, customizations, but these 5 plugins do. If we take a look at the Homes app, this is a nice simple config where we can update the max number of homes a player can set, the teleport delay that they have to wait to teleport to a home, and a teleport cooldown, which is the time they have to wait before they can teleport again after teleporting. Yep, all of these configs within apps are meant to be able to be edited through the plugin, so you no longer have to actually manually update config files through your backends. Yeah, it should all be able to be done in game now. The next app we'll look at is announcements. So for this one, this is the app to create new announcements that appear on your players' home screens, and you can also edit existing posts as well, and also delete them if you'd like. But yes, if we want to go and create a new post, we come here and then set the title like that. And then we can create the post's message. This is a custom screen for allowing you to input text that is longer than a single line in chat with your Minecraft client. A little workaround for that limitation. So we can type out multiple lines here. Hello, line 1. And then we hit add to add it. We can then go and add another line. Also, one thing to call out here is this also supports placeholders as well. So we can do line 2 player name like that, and then add that as well. And then that will now show the player's name here once we create the post. So that's enough for this example. We'll hit finish. And there you go. You can see what the body of the text will look like. And lastly, we can create a CTA, which is a button that you can click on from there that will execute a command. So from here, we can just say hi, and then we'll set the command to just be say Yeah, say hi, like that. And then we set the command runner to be either server or player, and then hit create post. It's been created. Now we can go back to the home screen, and there's our new post. And clicking on the say hi button now executes that command as well. And yeah, that's the announcements app. Next, let's look at the Homes app. This is a simple app for players to create, edit, and teleport to and from their homes. We can click here to create a new home, and we'll start by selecting an icon where we'll select Apple, and then we'll make the spawn name or the home name spawn like that, and then we can hit save home. And now we have our home saved, and we can now teleport to that home by clicking on it like that. Yep. The next app we have is Warps, which is very similar to Home, but the main difference is server staff are creating your warps as opposed to regular players, and anyone on the server can then teleport to specific warps like Palace. Will take us to our little palace here, or we can go to, port as well. And yeah, those are our warps. And then we can come back, use our home to go back to spawn. All right, the next plugin we'll look at is Teleport. And this plugin is for teleporting between players. So from here, I can select another player on the server to teleport to, and then send a request to either teleport to them or for them to teleport to me. So I click here, and if we go over and look at their screen, we see this notification in chat sending the request to teleport to them. So we can click on this to open up apps right in the teleports. So then we can go to requests and respond to this request, and then I'll hit accept, and the dude has now teleported to me. And if we go back to the dude, we can see we have teleported, and we can use apps to go right back to where we came from. All right, and the next app we have is Market. This app is a simple app for players to buy and sell items on the server. As you can see, there are quite a few items already for sale, and I can scroll through and choose which ones I'd like to buy. So I could choose to buy up to 256 golden apples from Uncle Spudley, but I can also customize the amount that I want to buy. Let's say I only want to buy 5 items, and that would cost me $10, and then I can hit purchase, and I have now received my golden apples. You can also create offers and update your offers from this with this app as well. But yes, I don't have any offers, and yeah, I'll let you play with that. Next up, we have the Preferences app, a very simple app with more functionality to come shortly. But right now, this is where you can set your top 5 favorite apps. So right now, I only have Preferences as a favorite, but I can also go through and select Homes, Warps, Market, and let's do Kits. And there we go. Now we go back to the home screen. We can see all of our preferences here, and these are just a little shortcut straight to those apps, so we don't have to go through the home screen first. Then we have the Spawn app, which is not terribly complex. You can either teleport to the spawn or to your previous location, but that is also available for you on the home screen here. So yeah. Next up, we have the Recipes app. This is just a quality of life app where you can essentially search the recipe of any item in game. So if I want to see all diamond items, we can get the results for that by searching for diamond. And then clicking on these items will show us the crafting recipes for them in this little crafting box up here. And yep, that's recipes. Next up, we have kits. And this is like any other kits plugin where server staff can create kits for players that then can be redeemed with various configurations, such as setting a price for the kits. So this beginner kit is free, but is single use. So once I get the kit, it now says kit claimed, and I can no longer collect it anymore. I could also go through and see other kits. This one costs $500, but it is available now. And then there's also the grain dole, where I can accept 64 bread, like that. All right. And then lastly, we have the tutorial app. This is just a simple app that lets players get used to how apps works, and just clicking on buttons and interacting with the screens. Also able to do text input as such. But yeah, nice and simple, but just to ease your users into using this plugin. Yep, this shows off that apps is reactive and can have live updates. And then some other useful elements that you can play with, like the pager and scrolling content over here as well. And yeah, that's basically it. So yeah, those are all the apps that come pre-installed with apps. The last thing I want to show off is the setup manager. So when you first install apps, there is a short guide that will let you set up apps with customizing the enabled apps, configuring them, and setting up your announcements feed. So I want to step through that real quick and show you how that works. All right, so this is what apps looks like when you first install it. You'll be greeted with this message in chat if you are an opt player. And when you first open up apps, this is what it's going to look like. You'll have a dummy announcement message up here for getting started that will have a CTA to begin the setup guide as well. But for this video, we'll just be clicking on this click to start button right here to also launch the setup guide. The first screen of the setup guide basically just provides you with a couple resources. First one being the tutorial app that I just showed, as well as the support links, which will give you links to our Discord, Modrinth, and Spigot links. If you need any help, you can reach out to us through any of those links. All of those we are active on, and we'll be happy to listen to any questions, comments, feature requests, or whatever else you may want to discuss. So yeah, but for this video, we are going to be sticking with setup. So the first thing we do is set our server title. This is the text that will appear at the top of your homepage. And it doesn't have to be your server title, you know, it could be whatever you want, but just keep it under 25 characters or else the text will start spilling over into other areas on the screen and that'll look bad. This also supports placeholder API. So we can do hello player name like that. And now once we finish the setup guide, we'll see our name displayed at the top of the screen. The next screen, we will choose which apps we will have enabled or disabled. Just like from the admin app where we are able to enable or disable, we also have the option to do that right here at the beginning. So if I want to disable these three apps, those will be disabled by default for players once we're ready to go. Next up, we have customizing apps. So again, we can go into the apps configs and customize these apps however we want, and so on. It won't display the disabled apps configs. So yeah, these are the only two configurable apps that we have enabled. Next up, we have creating our announcements post. So this will replace the default message here. So you can create something a little more personalized with this create post button. I'm not going to go through that right now, but you can play with that on your own. And yeah, that is everything for the setup guide. You have it all configured, and when you hit finished, everything will be saved and you'll be ready to go. And there we go. Apps is now set up with our custom title here and our apps configured here, with our apps still disabled as we see here. So yeah, that is how you get set up with apps. So yeah, that'll do it for this video. That's everything I have to show you about apps currently. But apps is also being very actively developed, so make sure to check back here or on Spigot or in our Discord to stay up to date with all of the future developments of apps, and get involved with the community. Let us know if there's anything you'd like to see us add or change or whatever. We'd love to hear from you. All right, thanks. See ya.